Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI project tutorials. This video is the introductory video for the customer analysis project. In this particular project, we have the data set of the bank customers. We are going to analyze that data set to find out the trends between the target customers. With the help of this analysis, we would be able to get the optimum number of people or the optimum category of the people which are most likely to sign up for the bank account or the bank locker, and we are going to target them only in the future for a better perspective. So for your reference, just by using the data set, I have already created a sample report in Power BI. Let's have a look at it. This is how the report is looking. Now we are using the different methods or the different things possible like age and gender. So we can find out that the people from age 30 to 50 are the ones that are keeping the most balance in our account, with 30 to 40 females having the highest balance ever. If we talk about the age group and gender, so 20 to 40 is the age that is giving us the most balance, and 30 to 40 is actually the ones that are giving the most balance, with an equal distribution between the male and the females customers. And if we talk about the gender, so male are giving more balance in contrast to the females. If we talk about the job classification, then most of the customers are the white collar workers. So this is the category which we can target the most, and most of our customers come from England. These are few of the data that we can have a look at, like white collar is the most balanced by job, England is the country or the region which is giving us the most balance, male is giving us the most balance, and 34 is the optimum age of our customer that is giving us the maximum balance. So this is the analysis that we did with the help of this report, with the help of the data set of the customers. Now we would be looking at the step-by-step process to create a report similar to this for ourselves. So let us start. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI project tutorials. This video is in continuation with the introductory video for the customer analysis. So in this video, we are going to start working with the data set. I have already imported the data set into my Power BI. This data set is present in the form of a CSV file. So I would be providing you with this data set. Once you've got the data set, all you got to do is go to this get data option. From here, you have to select CSV and then click on the location where your data set is residing, and then click on the data set, and this kind of a menu would be shown to you. This means that Power BI has loaded this data set. Now what we need to do is we need to make some changes into this data set. Why we need to make those changes? Because as you can see, there is this column of customer ID which is of no use to us, right? We don't want this column at all. It cannot provide any value to us, so we have to remove this column. Secondly, we have to merge this name and the surname column into a full name column, or just basically a name column, to get an easy access to the data, removing the redundant columns. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to create a new column that is going to be the age category column. As you remember, in one of our visualizations, we had the age category from 30 to 40, 20 to 30 like this. So that is the column that we need to create. Apart from this, we have to check for any of the inconsistencies if it is present in the data set, like if any of the null values are there. So we are going to remove them as well. So this is the process of data cleaning, and that takes place in a Power Query editor. To load the data directly into the Power Query editor before working with it to create visualizations, we need to use this option of transform data. So we can just use this option of transform data, and it would open the Power Query editor for us. It may take a few seconds, so you gotta wait for that much amount of time. And once the whole process is done, the data would be loaded. Now we can start performing the operations. The first operation, as we discussed, is to remove the customer ID column from here. Okay, so how do we do that? Whichever column you want to remove, make sure that is selected. Either you can right click over here on that particular column, and there is this option of remove. So you can either use this option, or you can just select this option, go to this home tab, and here is this option of remove column. You can use that as well. So either of the options you will do would perform the same step, right? Now whatever changes you do in your data would just be done for this particular data. Your original data set is as it is. There is no changes that would be done in that particular data set. Because Power BI creates a copy of the data set for itself, and all the manipulations that you do are done on the copy of the dataset, and the original dataset remains as it is. So if at any point in time you want to refer to the original dataset, you can just go to your computer's memory and refer to that original dataset. The second thing is, whatever steps you have applied into your dataset are shown over here in the applied steps column. If you want to undo any of the steps, like I just removed the column, so there is this option of removed columns. I want to remove this step, like I want to just delete the step. There is this cross option. You can just use that option and this column comes back. So this would help you to keep a record of what changes you have done in your data set, right? Again, I've removed the column. Now what I'm going to do is merge these two columns together. Okay, so for this I have to select multiple columns. You can do that using control click, just like this. Then go to the transform column option, and here is this option of merge columns. So you can just go to this merge column options, and it would ask you for a separator. So I'm going to take space as a separator. That means name space surname. Then it is optional, but you can provide the new column name. So I'm just going to provide it as customer name, not full name but customer name. Okay, but that is a personal choice. You can provide anything that you want, and click on OK. Now once you do that, you can see customer name is the new column that we are getting with the values merged together with a space. Now if we just go onto this option, this drop down, we would get a hand of all of those values. The next thing that we can check is for the null values. If any of the null values are present in any of the data set, it is present at the first option only, that is just below the select all. So you can just check for all of these values if any null are present, and as you can see, there are no null values that are present, right, in the region as well. So instead of region, what I'm gonna do is just change it to country, or let's just keep it as region, because we are having Wales and other islands which are not actually countries, which are regions only. Okay, then we have job classification, which is going to be this only. The date joined is good, no null values, and the balance is also good. Okay, so from this we got information that the minimum balance that the customers are maintaining in our accounts is 21.03 pounds. Okay, since the data is from Europe, so we are going with the pounds. And the minimum age of the customers is 17 years, while the maximum age is 64 years. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create a new column that is going to be taken from the age column, and that is going to categorize the age, right? Like the first category is going to be from 17 to 20, because that is the minimum age that we are getting. Then it is going to be from 21 to 30. Then it is going to be 31 to 40, just like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create a new column. So for that we need to go to this add column options. You can just go here, and what I'm going to create is a column from examples. There are two ways through which you can create that. First is a custom column. Now what happens in this custom column is that you need to write code, the DAX query that you need to write. So that is a little bit complex process. We are not going to go into that. We are going with the easy one, that is just through the GUI based solutions. We are going to create a new column for us, and that is through column from examples. You can just go to from selection option. Now what would it do? It would create a new column, and you can provide the sample values for it. Okay, just like we are getting 21 as the age, so that is going to be included in the 21 to 30 category. Okay, next we are getting 34 as the age, so that is going to be included in the 31 to 40 category. So as you can see, 31 to 40. Now what happens is this Power BI would automatically predict the values for the rest of these values, right? The range values for the rest of the age values, as you can see. Now what changes we can make is in the 17 age. So here is this 19 age. Instead of 11 to 20, we can just change it to 17 to 20. Okay, now if I can just find out any other age value, so we can just change it as well. Okay, as soon as we did the change, so it is getting some kind of a problem with us, so we can just provide some more sample values for it to recognize the values, right? If it is 31, 32, so again it's going to be 31 to 40, just like this. Okay, now it has taken all the values into account and we are happy with it. We can just click on OK, right? Now what happens is we can just change its column name into age group, and the thing is that whatever operations we added, whatever formula we added, if we just go to the previous step and onto this drop down, then we would be able to see this particular formula. In the case of the custom column, we had to add this particular formula, like we had to type this whole formula. That would be a little bit complex, like we had to go very deep into the programming concepts of the conditional statements, if else statements, and the syntax must be correct and everything like that. So instead of doing that, we just used a simple step, that is through a column from example we created a column, right? And that is the age group column. Now if you just go to this age group column, you will see the possible values are 17 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Suppose we just go to this age values, right? Let's just cross check it once, like if there is any kind of a discrepancy, we can just remove it. We can just uncheck all and get a age value that is greater than 50. Let's say suppose 52. Click on OK. So what we are getting over here is in the age group 41 to 50. So there is a discrepancy over here which we need to combat. So how can we do that? Let's just see. We can go to this particular option, and here we have this over here. Okay, if age is greater than equal to 46, then it is taken it as 41 to 50. So we can just say that if the age is greater than equal to 42, then we want that 41 to 50. And actually it's going to be in the else if category, because the if part is going to be something different. Like we had another age group like 51 to 60. If age is greater than 52, then we can just write it as 51 plus. Okay, and then we can just write as else if age is greater than equal to 40 and this. Okay, just put a space over here and that would do the trick. Okay, so now if you just go to this filtered row options, then you can see for 52 plus we are getting 51 plus written over here. Okay, we can just remove the filtered rows. The reason why we did that, because it is from 51 to 64. So instead of creating a category for it, we have just created that it is 51 plus. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Now once you have made all the changes into your dataset and you are happy with it, you can go to the home tab. If you want, you can just change the name of the dataset into this properties section. So let me just change it to bank, simple bank for better understanding, and then you can click on this close and apply button. So it is going to close the Power Query Editor and apply all the changes into the dataset. Now whatever changes that you have applied would be visible to you in this fields section over here. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds to apply those changes, then you would be able to work with those changes. So as you can see, it's going to take a few seconds, and once it's done, you will see this bank over here with all the columns just like this. So we are going to work with all of these columns to create visualizations for us using the Power BI desktop, but that we would start from the next video. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI project tutorials. This video is the continuation of the previous videos in which we are analyzing the customer dataset for the banks to find out the target customers which are most likely to open an account with a bank. Based upon the dataset, which is in the form of a CSV file. In the previous videos, we have already introduced ourselves with the dataset. We have cleaned the dataset, removed any sort of impurities, and manipulated it to create new columns based upon the already existing columns. In this video, we are going to work with the visualizations part. So without any further ado, let's start with the visualizations. The first visualization that I am going to create is based upon the customer balance. Like, I want to know that what is the category of the customers that is keeping the most balance in our account, because the more the balance they have in our bank, the more we are likely to use that particular kind of an amount. Okay, so we have this balance information. What we can use is this age option and this gender option, right? So I'm going to use a line chart for this purpose. Now, when you want to create any visualization, you need to go to this visualizations pane, click on this particular visualization, and that would be available in the form of a blueprint. You can adjust its dimensions as per your wish. There would be guiding lines for you to easily understand that how much space it's going to take. And then you can just go into this kind of a focus mode so that this visualization is present in a full screen mode to create it, right? So in the access part, I'm just going to get this age. In the values part, I'm just going to get this balance. Let's see how it is looking. Let's give it a few seconds. Right. So this is how it is looking. That is 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. That's the rough age categories in which we are getting the balance. In case you don't want the simple age, you want the age group, you can get that as well. And that would give you similar results, but the thing is you have to just change the way it is looking. Like 17 to 20 must come first, then 21 to 30. So that is the sorting that you need to perform. If you want to change the sorting order, what you can do is go to these three options, three dots, go to the sort by option, and instead of balance, it is now right now sorted by balance. Let's just sort it by the age group. Okay, so it's sorted in the descending order. Let's just sort that in the ascending order. So again, go to these three options and there is the sort ascending option. So this is how it is sorted in the age group category, right? Like from 17 to 20, the balance is steadily increasing till 31 to 40, and after that it is decreasing. That's with the age group. But if you don't want the age group, you want as individual ages, then you can get that as well. So it is a similar kind of a trend, which is but much more predictive, much more easier to analyze with much more peaks and valleys. Okay, so this is about the age. If you want a gender based classification as well, in the same visualization, what you can do is just get this gender into the legends part. Now what will it do is it would just distribute this particular visualization into two parts. The darker blue is for the male and the lighter blue is for the females. So what I'm going to do is just go to this format option and this data colors option to change the data color of the females, right? I'm just going to go with a shade of green, but that's totally your choice. You can go with any color that you want. The reason why I am doing this is because I want a clear distinction between the two values, right? Like the blue ones and the green ones. So if I'm using a lighter and a darker shade, so that would allow me to see the differences easily. Like the females are getting us the most balance in 34 years and 36 years, but the males are getting us the most balance in the age of 33 years. So that's our target. Okay, 33 years of male and 34 and 36 years of females to be most likely to be signed up for our customers, right? Now once the visualization is prepared, you can add some extra things into it, like the data labels. If you just toggle it to on, so this would show you for the different peaks and valleys the balance amount that we are getting, right? But it is getting a little bit messy, so I'm just going to toggle it to off for now for this particular visualization, but we would be adding data labels for other visualizations. Once you are happy with your visualization, you can click on back to report option. Here again, if you want, you can just change its dimensions so that it looks the best as per your wish, right? So this was the one visualization that we have created. Let's just create another one, and this time instead of the balance, I'm just going to find out the number of the customers. Okay, so the number of customers by age, group and gender. This is the balance that they have given. That means if we want the most amount, what is the target I should go for? Now, if I want the most customers, then what is the target I should go for? So let's just go with a stacked column chart for this one. Bring it in here. I want just side by side. Let's go into the focus mode, and I want the number of customers, right? So by age group, let's just get the age group into the access fields, and I want the count of the age group into the values field, right? Just like this. So it would give me the number of customers. Again, I have to perform the sorting operations, like I want to sort it by the age group and I want to sort it in the ascending order. That is 17 to 20 must come first, then 21 to 30, and just like this. So 31 to 40 is the target age group. That is the most number of the customers are in this age group. If you want a gender-wide distribution, you can just get the gender in here as well. Let's just change its color again. Right now we are just going to go with a different color for the females, that is this shade of green. Again, why we are doing this? To get a contrast between these two values and to get a uniformity in our overall report. Like we did the same colors with the previous visualizations, so let's do this for this visualization as well. Now in here we can just add the data labels, so we can toggle it to on. This is how they are looking, and if you want a background for them, you can just toggle this background to on and play with this just to get the best possible data labels for yourself, right? Now if we just go back to the report, this is what we are getting: a count of age group by age group and gender, which is not a very good title. So we can just go to this fields option, and instead of count of age group, let's just double click over here and just change number of customers. Okay, so this would give us number of customers by age group and gender. Instead of age group, let's just change it to simple age, or age group is also okay. That's totally up to you, whatever you want. You can just work with it. Okay, now if you want, you can just adjust the dimensions of these two charts just like this a little bit, so as to accommodate another kind of a visualization over here. Okay, now what kind of a visualization you can accommodate is the best bet is for a donut visualization if you want, but that is going to be a little bit difficult because now the values are not visible properly. So this is the adjustment part that you need to work upon for yourself to get the best possible adjustments. Okay, just like this. Now what we're going to do is work with some of these donut charts. So what I'm going to do is just get this donut chart here, change its dimensions a little bit. I want to accommodate 2 to 3 donut charts over here. Go into the focus mode, and now I want a country-wise distribution or the region-wise distribution, right? So let's just get region into the legend and the count of the region into the values. Now when I am doing this, like the region and the count of the region, it is giving me the number of the customers in each region. That is how many times that region has occurred. It is given by this count value, and that is actually the number of the customers in that particular region. Okay, so that is why I'm working with this count of function usually often. Again, we can just go to data colors and manipulate its color scheme for a uniformity in our overall report. But that thing, now we know how it works, so we can just work with it on ourselves. Okay, so I'm not just going to show you. Next thing is this detail labels. As you can see, we are getting the value and the percentage. So I don't want the percentage, I don't want the value, I just want the percentage. So instead of label style, I can just change it to the percentage. That means 53% of the total customers are from England, 28% are from Scotland, 12.95% are from Wales, and the remaining 5.26% are from the Northern Ireland. That means the most number of customers we are getting is from England. So this is what we are getting. Just go back to the report, and it is visible in a good manner. We can just change its dimensions a little bit if you want, and we can also change its title, like instead of count of region, we can just change it to number of customers by region. Just like this particular visualization is there, I want to create another visualization that is giving me the balance by region, right? So what I can do is just right click on this particular visualization, go to copy, create a copy of this visualization, and in the home tab there is this option to paste it. So I can just copy paste this particular visualization, because the visualization that I'm going to create is going to be very similar to this previous one. Just instead of the count of the region, it is going to have a balance in the values field. Okay, so we can just get that. Go into the focus mode. We are getting a similar trend in the balance as well, like 53% balance is in England, 27.82% in Scotland, 13 point some percent, and 5.2% in Northern Ireland. So the distribution is almost identical by balance and by the number of customers as well. Okay, if you're talking about the country as the parameter. Next we can do is the number of customers by job classification. So we have this job classification field. Let's just get that here as well. Another visualization is going to come here, and just remove these values. Its time is going to be the job classification field. So let's get job classification and the count of job classification over here. So this would give us that how many customers are in each of these job classification, like white collar, blue collar, and the other. So white collar workers are most likely to be signed up as our customers, and that is the one that we need to target, right? So just like this, we are going to create a number of visualizations and other things as well. That's all for this video. We are going to continue our discussion of creating visualizations in the next video. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI project tutorials. This video is in continuation with the previous videos for the customer analysis of the bank customers, right? So since the previous video, I have made a few changes into the visualizations that we got. The first thing that I did was change the data colors of these donut charts just to get them in line with the whole report. That's the blue-green theme. Next, I changed their titles to be a little bit more understanding, like balance by region, number of customers by region, number of customers by job type. Then I also changed the position of the legend for these two things, these two charts, and now I'm going to show you how to do that for this third chart. Okay, so you have to select the visualization, go to the format tab. Here is this legend option, you can go that, and there is this position option. Now you can select any position that you want. Suppose I go for a bottom position, right? So now your legend would be placed on the bottom just like this. So you can you have some of the extra space on the left and the right sides to accumulate it, right? Furthermore, if you want, you can just organize it at the bottom center to get a centralized position of this particular legend, right? Now these three donut charts I have created. I'm going to show you the creation of one chart in which I'm going to perform every single step in front of you. So that is the distribution of the balance by gender. Okay, so let me just copy this visual and paste it. Okay, so that I don't have to do everything from scratch. Here let's just remove the job type and the number of customers option from here. I'm just going to get gender, and I can get balance by gender as well. So let's just get balance by gender to see that how much balance we are getting. We can go into the focus mode for a better view. 54% by the males and the remaining 45.70% by the females. Okay, however, if you just get the count of the gender here, so that is also a simple kind of a distribution. So anything you want, you can just throw it in here. And the thing that I'm going to do is just go to this data colors option and change the data color for the female. That's going to be a shade of green, and that's it. The position of the legend is on the bottom center. That's okay. And balance by gender, the title is also looking good to me. I don't want to make any changes over here. Okay, so this is how the donut charts are looking. Now what I can do is I can add one more chart. The thing is that whenever you are trying to create a report, your general notion should be to use all of these columns that are present in your dataset. By now we have used age group, balance, We haven't used customer name yet, but we would be using it. We have not used date joined. The rest three we have used. So these two columns we have not used. So let's see if we can create any kind of a visualization just by using these two columns. So I'm going with the line chart. Let me just make sure it takes some space over here. Go into the focus mode and get the date joined into the access field and the count of the customer name into the values field. So right now it is giving me all the data from the year 2015. So by default, whenever you get any of the date values, it goes into a date hierarchy. In case you don't want a date hierarchy, you can just go to this drop down option, and here you can see date hierarchy is by default selected. You can just select date joined from here. So it will give you the month and the year just like this: March 2015, May 2015, and so on, the quarter wise information. So this is how it is looking, and it shows us that what is the number of the customers that have joined us, and the maximum number of customers joined us is 24 on is actually 67 on Thursday, September 24th, 2015. So that was the maximum number of customers that have joined us. So this is also a good looking visualization. We can include it in our report. The only thing that we are going to do is change its data color to a shade of a darker blue, like this, and I'm just going to change its title as well. Okay, so the title is going to be the number of customers by number of, actually the title I want is number of customers joined. So this is a completely different title. I don't want this by keyword. So in this case, what I can do is go to this format tab, go to this title option, and from here I can just change the title. So total customers joined or number of customers joined, something like this. I want a title, customers joined. So this is what we can do. If you just want a totally custom title, like you don't want the by keyword, you don't want anything else, you can just go with it like this. Okay, now the thing is I have to make some adjustments in here to accommodate them in a better way, just like this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just toggle the background of this particular visualization as off and make sure that everything is visible, like okay, now yeah, everything is visible and everything is looking good. I have some of the white space that is remaining still. So what I'm going to do is make sure to create some of the data cards which are going to show us the information in a glimpse, like the maximum balance, the age that is giving us the maximum balance. Okay, so we can just click on this card visualization or change its position. So what I'm going to do is get a filter first of all. Okay, so this is the age, get it into this filters pane, that is filters on this visual pane, and I'm just going to go with the top end filtering. That means if you want the maximum value or the minimum value, you have to go for this. Since I want the maximum value, so I'm selecting top from here and just select top one by the value is going to be the balance value, and click on apply filter. Then drag in this age into the fields option, and that would give us the count of the age, right? So we don't want that. So in this case, what you want is just go to this drop down and select either minimum or maximum value. You can select either one of them, they both would give you the same result. So that is giving us the 34 years. Similarly, if you just go to the minimum of age, then also it would give you 34 years because of the filter that we have applied over here, right? That is, it is giving us the age that is having the maximum balance. So we can just change its title to max balance by age, right? This is the age of the customers that we want to target. Then if you want minimum age, so we can just copy this visual, we can paste it, and this time we want it the minimum balance, like the age which is giving the minimum balance in our bank account. So all we need to do is go to this filter, and instead of top here we have to select bottom and click on apply filter option. So what will it do is 15, that is the minimum balance by age. So which is the age that is giving us the minimum balance, it is 15 years. So min balance by age. that is this age. Okay. Now what we can get is some other information like the gender, which is giving us the maximum balance, or the gender that is giving us the most number of customers. So for that, what we can do is actually copy this visual. It's already copied, so we can just simply paste it. Okay, and we can make some changes over here. Like we can remove these filters, we can remove this field from here. We have to get the gender into the visual field, and that's going to be the top n, that is the top one, by the customer name. So that's going to be the count of customer name. We can just select count of customer name, that is the maximum number of customers. Okay, we can click on apply filter, then grab this gender into the fields and drop it here. So that is the male, that is the maximum customers, max customers. Male are our maximum customers. Okay. In case you want to find out the number, so for that what you need to do is, instead of getting the gender into here, you have to get the count of the customer name from here. Okay, count from here, and that would give you the maximum number of customers, like the maximum number of males or the total number of males, that is 2165. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with the gender only, and that's going to be the max customers. So this is some of the data that I have got in a glance. Now what we can do is actually collapse these panes and add a kind of a, you can say, information text box that tells us what kind of a data analysis you have done. So for that we need to go to the insert tab, and here are these different shapes that you can insert. I'm going with the simple rounded tab over here. We can just adjust its position. So it's a bank customer analysis, and that's exactly what I'm going to write over here. So you can adjust it, then go to this format shape option, make sure this text is toggled to on, and here you can add any text that you want. So that is customer analysis for the bank, customer analysis underscore bank, or a hyphen bank. You can just play with these font colors, the text size, anything that you want. 30 is looking good. If you want, you can change the color as well by going into this fill. You can change the color of this particular shape to a shade of green, like this. Okay, so this is how our report is looking in a final view. That's all for this particular project. Thanks for watching.